Está à procura de um sítio seguro para depositar o seu dinheiro? Está no sítio certo. Bem-vindo ao Banco Invisível. Confie as suas poupanças a esta instituição bancária que não existe, mas que o vai transformar em bits e bytes, enviá-lo lá para cima para a cloud e torná-lo ainda mais rentável. Todos os dias, milhares de pessoas em todo o mundo aderem ao Banco Invisível, fazendo pagamentos, depósitos e transferências através do computador ou telemóvel, sem ter de interagir com seres humanos, sem ter de sair de casa. Para aderir, só tem de perceber o que é Bitcoin, Blockchain, Mining, Trading e outras expressões em inglês. É muito simples, vai ver. Bem-vindo ao Banco Invisível. Mais transparente não há.
One of my favorite places to work is the beach. It's kind of this cliche thing, I think, you know, like digital nomad. But I do think like the beach is a great place to think. It's like a big open space and you get a fresh perspective.
I'm the founder and CEO of Discussions.app, a cryptocurrency forum, and we are supporting and helping all these new cryptocurrencies to grow and to give them the infrastructure for their community to connect.
I usually just tell people I do something with Bitcoin. So there's 21 million Bitcoins according to rules of the Bitcoin network. So these are the rules that everybody running the machines agree to. And then the blockchain is the technology that enables all this activity to happen. So the blockchain is the rules that describe the Bitcoin network. And that's what it means to be decentralized. Bitcoin is open source. What that means is that the code that runs the Bitcoin network is available for you to copy and you can start your own currency. I think the first time I really discovered like maybe the power of money is when I started taking my swimming lessons, actually. It was difficult for my parents to keep up with, you know, it costs a lot of money to actually take swimming lessons. And I applied for a job at the swimming company. And at the end of every month, they would hand me like an envelope of cash. And one of the things that were really weird to me was that this green piece of paper had value, which I would just turn around and hand back right to them because I wanted the swimming lessons. So that's kind of the first time I discovered if you want to do something, you have to pay for it. I was going to school in New York City, and the business school was a few blocks away from the New York Stock Exchange. And then you have this tiny little corner store right next to it, and it says Bitcoin Center, and it had a sign outside. It's like free beer and pizza. So I went in. It was kind of like a Silicon Valley vibe where like everyone had like t-shirt and shorts on. But the interesting thing was that the audience was in suits and ties. So it was very obvious to me that these were Wall Street bankers, stockbrokers, and they were listening very closely and very intently. Someone on stage started screaming at the audience, screaming at the bankers, saying that how the banks are gonna fail, and in a few years, you won't have your jobs anymore. That's the day I discovered Bitcoin. Is it a stable system today? No. Is it an experiment that could lead to an incredibly stable system of economics in the future? I think the promise is there. Welcome to the block.
Thank you very much.
What is the block? The Block Cafe is a co-working space and meetup point for crypto enthusiasts.
So yeah, so Daniel, this is Paulo.
Hey man.
Hello.
How are you?
Paulo mines Ethereum at home.
What is mining? Mining is performed by high-powered computers that solve complex math problems. When computers solve these complex math problems on the Bitcoin network, they produce new Bitcoin, not unlike when a mining operation extracts gold from the ground.
Paulo, this is Danielo. Danielo is a screenwriter and a director.
Cool.
I think for the average person, they don't think that that the system can change. How much do you charge your bank?
My first experience with bank was because my great-grandmother, she decided to have a saving account for me when I was born.
Yeah.
So I had a bank. Even before I was born,
Okay.
I had a bank. And when I moved to Portugal, I had to, for the first time in my life, I need to choose a bank. That's tough because I think I'm the only person that I could trust with my own money.
That's a great point. And that's what Bitcoin and blockchain technology is trying to accomplish.
Like in the old days in America, there was a lot of banks, a lot of small local banks, and people trusted the local bank because they knew the person, right? They were their neighbors, basically. In the end, banks are made of humans, and humans have this tendency, when they get more powerful, they start to abuse that power. Maybe the safest thing that you can have to safeguard your money is digital code that you can verify how it works, and it's based on mathematics that never change, basically.
You know, I wanted to go on this road trip to kind of meet people that had cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and blockchain had touched their lives. What do they see in it, and what do they think money is in the future?
There are a lot of societies and communities in the world that they don't even use money. They're just like exchanging things. I mean, I have an egg, you have a cow, I want milk, so let's trade.
You want to be able to go down to a grocery store, wave out a little plastic card, and get that milk and get that egg. You might work in a community where your needs are very limited. It just doesn't work, in my opinion, to create society, like actual vibrant society.
Jack, I think you have like an interesting journey and trip to go to discovering what's the future of money. Cheers.
Why are we here? And what am I looking at the moment?
So we're standing here in front of what I hope is going to be my new house. We're trying to close on it right now.
Yeah, looks beautiful.
About 5 years ago, four or 5 years ago, I entered a machine learning competition about predicting future stock prices.
Okay.
I did okay. I didn't do amazing. I did okay. I got like 50th out of 500. The award that I got for that was like 23 cents. It was basically nothing. You fast forward 2 years later and they created their own cryptocurrency. And then I turned it into Bitcoin and I said, okay, I'm going to leave this here. 2 more years down the road, it's covering most of my house's down payment.
Over the course of Bitcoin's history, it has undergone rapid growth to become a significant currency. Launched in 2009, the price of 1 Bitcoin remained a few cents for its first few years. The price reached a peak of nearly $20,000 per Bitcoin in late 2017.
So in terms of money, and if you have more money, how do you look at it?
To me, money is like the most useful tool that humans have ever created. Say I'm a programmer and you're own a bakery. I need some of your bread. You don't need any of my programs. How can I get your bread? Money is the tool that we can use to solve that problem, which then means that I can use my programming to get all of the things I may need in my life, including this house here. I think that where societies really break down is when they stop viewing it as a tool. And where the idea that I need to gather as much of it as possible for myself is like saying, you know, if I'm a carpenter, my goal is going to be to get as many hammers as I possibly can into my shed because I'm a carpenter and this is my important tool. Like, that's stupid. You know, the money should lead to some kind of desired outcome, you know, food in your belly, a roof over your head. It should never be the end goal.
So how do you see this tool evolving? How do you see the future of money?
It needs to be free, as stable as possible, so that when you buy a coffee in the morning and you pay 50 whatever that you pay for it, it's still worth the same amount tomorrow.
Maybe cryptocurrency won't be the future of money. Do you have an idea of what will be the future of money?
No.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea.
That's a great answer, by the way. That's a fantastic answer.
But again, I don't care. As long as it solves the problem of, I'm a programmer, but I need your bread, I don't care what it is.
This is not someone who won the lottery, to be exact. This is someone who understood what the risks were. His biggest issue is that there's a lot of people encouraging normal people who doesn't understand this to put their life savings into cryptocurrency, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. And I agree with him. I'm driving up now to Mota Agua to meet with two professors from Nova School of Business and Economics. They were on a family vacation. They invited me to join them up there. And it's good to have the professors there, which provides that academic perspective I was looking for when it comes to talking about Bitcoin and blockchain and the future of money. I think that'd be really exciting, talking to these professors. I have a lot of respect for academia, even though I dropped out of university.
Do you like zombie movies?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit a coward when it comes to scary movies.
Okay.
But you invest in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know.
So that's something about
that's the irony.
But in most movies, in zombie movies, what is the currency they use?
Canned food.
Why is that?
Everyone wants canned food. It's a necessity.
Because it has intrinsic value, right?
Yeah.
So the only reason why fiat money has value is because the government says so. Right?
Yeah, it's because they tax you.
Yeah. So,
It's a very important technology.
It's not just about taxing. If we get into a fight and you want to prosecute me, right, and we go to court, the judge can't order you, can't order me to compensate you with chicken or sheep or canned food, right?
People in the industry of cryptocurrency argue that one of the advantages of these cryptocurrencies, the government has less control in taxing me by having, like you said, printing trillions of dollars and then, lowering the value of my currency, which is essentially taxing me.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest weaknesses I see. If you have a crisis like we have now, if you don't have some sort of intervention in the economy from the monetary side, like giving cheap money to companies, for some disturbance that happen, these companies, they are viable, good businesses. But because people are afraid of what's happening, they don't spend. And because of that, these companies are going to go under. They're going to close. Jobs are going to be destroyed. Firms are going to be destroyed. So all that value that comes from the ability to conduct economic policy to help society, that is out of the window. So I think that's one a big challenge that decentralized currency systems have yet to face.
Now, if you look at say Bitcoin, for instance, on the cryptocurrencies, there's huge volatility in prices.
Yes, of course.
So what do you think about, do you think that could be kind of a disadvantage of people like trusting in using this for future purchases?
I'm not saying it has succeeded, but I'm saying the way it's structured itself and the ambition it aims to be, that success is possible. A lot of people think that everyone in Bitcoin is all about money and about getting rich, and that is true in a lot of cases. But there are a lot of people in Bitcoin that are very interested in the absence of money. and they sustain themselves off the land. So it's always curious to see, you know, what their thinking is. It doesn't make sense to me. I would just like to live in a nice apartment in the middle of the city. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also very excited because I do love it, being put into those kind of situations. You know, they obviously look at things very differently, look at society very differently. I don't think I'm a very close-minded person, but I do have my biases. I still call myself a capitalist because, you know, that's what I do.
Tamira is an eco-village in Alentejo with a community of around 200 people. They are working towards autonomous, decentralized models for a post-capitalist world. Tasks and services are taken on by co-workers, volunteers, and friends. Everyone voluntarily contributes their knowledge and commitment without monetizing its value. They research on how community can become a currency for a new society.
Hey, Benjamin.
Hey, Jack.
Nice meeting you.
Meet you. Sabine.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. When people hear about Tamira, what do you want them to think in their mind?
The vision was mainly to create a model, to do research how to work with energy in the name of cooperation, how to work with the plants world in the name of cooperation instead of domination, how to build community of trust. And so we prepare ourselves and others to what will happen if the capitalistic system crashes in a way. Yeah. It's about a global network where people are, for example, in Colombia, a refugee community who only can survive because they were able to build community.
Yeah. You mentioned how nature gives freely the water, you know, and you know, food and energy. But I think maybe this is part of the problem with capitalism is that some people would take that, they would kind of monopolize it, and then that system will kind of emerge again. So, I mean, do you guys see this as like a case? Like, how would you prevent that?
For capitalism to function, it needs fear to be in there. In a way, this competition for money, for being the best, needs to have fear inside the human being. So can we create a society, a culture free of fear? To also create another economic system.
What needs to change in the core human psyche, essentially?
From fear to trust, I would say.
We need to be ready to share.
How do you bring that system from 150 people to 10 million people like New York City, right?
In New York City or in any number, it could be sub-systems which actually do know each other and which actually do unfold a community of trust. And it's happening in the cities. There's this guerrilla gardening. People are starting to have community gardens. People start to share again. Also, even people in Berlin, where I come from, people who could afford something else, they look for alternatives. They share childcare. They think, actually, do each one of us need a washing machine, or can it be 2 or 3 families together? Yeah. This is systemically totally possible.
And this step from centralization to decentralization, this I feel as an important step to bring healing.
I feel like we operate in a very different arena, but you know, Bitcoin and blockchain, again, what we are trying to do also is to create an alternative system. We're trying to create a decentralized alternative future to what exists right now.
And actually blockchain is a very beautiful base to think an alternative. And in what I think, it still needs an inner transformation work, because the technical solution of distributing power and knowledge will only work when people are ready to give up some of their power.
I'm not sure if I have a conclusion right now, but it's definitely got me reconsidering a lot of the assumptions that I have about how I think about money, how I think other people think about money. Sam and Paul said that money is a tool to be used, which, you know, I really didn't think about it like that. And the professors obviously said medium exchange, and I love them for that because that's such an academic answer, and I really expected that answer in a certain way. The most valuable lesson I learned today is money could be whatever you want it to be. It could be a piece of fruit, some rocks, some shells, some minerals, to something even that's not tangible, to just trust in the community. How much do I trust you? How much do I trust the members of my community to not take advantage of me? So that's like a form of money that doesn't exist physically, it doesn't exist digitally, it doesn't exist on pieces of paper.
It's about enabling people to take back control of the things that they find most important in their lives.
Lembra-se de como era a vida em escudos? E se recuarmos uns bons 50 anos e formos ver quanto custava o dia-a-dia antes da Revolução de 1974? Naquele tempo, o pão custava 4 tostões e um café apenas 14. Caro, na altura, só a gasolina, que custava 7 escudos e 50 centavos. Mas os carros até pareciam em conta. Um automóvel com 1000 centímetros cúbicos ficava por 65 contos. E um topo de gama, como por exemplo um BMW 2002, custava perto de 100 mil escudos. Os professores recebiam cerca de 3 contos e 500. Um docente efetivo podia chegar aos 7 contos por mês. Uma quantia até bastante razoável se pensarmos que o aluguer de uma casa nova custava cerca de 2 contos. Ou seja, sem qualquer taxa de inflação aplicada, seriam 10 euros. Combinar uma ida ao cinema com a namorada, como dizia o outro, era pinners. Apenas 5 escudos. O que significaria em euros qualquer coisa como 2 cêntimos. Já fumar era um vício que ficava barato naquela época. Um maço de SG gigante custava 6 escudos e 50 centavos, o que equivale ao valor astronómico de aproximadamente 4 cêntimos na nossa moeda de hoje. Para estabelecer uma comparação com os dias de hoje, a diferença está perto de 40 vezes o preço de outrora. Esta multiplicação tem em conta a subida de preços vertiginosa que se verificou a seguir ao 25 de Abril e ao PREC, a influência negativa na economia originada pela descolonização, acrescido ainda da inflação regular que a partir da década de 80 se foi sentindo gradualmente. Para terminar, podemos voltar a 1970 e imaginar que estamos numa quarta-feira qualquer a sair do escritório. É 1 da tarde e vamos ali almoçar ao snack bar da esquina para ficar mais em conta. Pedimos o menu completo com sopa, prato do dia, copo de vinho, pão e um café. Quando vem a conta, são 27 escudos. Ou seja, mais ou menos 15 cêntimos na nossa moeda atual. As moedas pesam, as notas são sujas, as carteiras deformam os bolsos das calças. Não podemos viver sem dinheiro, mas podemos torná-lo mais interessante. Esta é a pior ideia de sempre para o futuro do dinheiro. Fazer com que todos os estabelecimentos comerciais aceitem fichas de carrinhos de choque como forma de pagamento. Isto iria criar um interesse renovado em feiras e romarias, o que já de si traria grandes benefícios para a economia local. Para além disso, a emoção de pagar as compras com fichas de carrinhos de choque numa pequena ranhura é impagável. Assim que os itens estivessem pagos, por todo o supermercado soaria uma canção tecno-chunga dos anos 90 para incentivar ao uso deste tipo de moeda. As fichas são leves, laváveis e feitas de um material muito resistente. Para tornar a sua utilização mais comum, vários transportes da cidade seriam substituídos por carrinhos de choque, um veículo elétrico, não poluente e muito versátil. No início, os cidadãos poderiam trocar as suas moedas antigas pelo novo dinheiro em pequenos stands colocados estrategicamente ao lado de barracas de farturas. Fica a ideia.